Hello, welcome to a new video. This time I think it's quite a good door. 6 high expandable observerless 1.5 plus components. Yeah, burnoutless and stuff, made by me. 640 blocks for the first layer, and then I don't know what the others is. Thanks to snowdrods and redsignial, because I use their top input lines and this kind of loop here because it's quite good. So here's the door. It's quite fast, faster than the new record. There's a small cooldown. Yeah, it can be expanded to 13, as you can see here, which is pretty good. I think 15 is just too hard, but 13's not too bad. Yeah. Now I shall go to single player because I'm doing an explanation video and now you can see it a bit better. So the input's on the side. The input's quite flexible. You just need to power this dropper. You can stick the input on there, but I like having it on a normal block. You can stick the input there. Do whatever you want. Yeah. Also, another thing, I don't know if this is worth crediting, but Thunder made a 5 high expandable which used this type of bottom, and he used this dual edge for the double, and I took that idea. I mean, I did it differently, but not by much. Anyway, this door is 20 by 8 by 4. 28, 4. Yep, it's very tall, but apart from that, it's quite small. You need a lot of materials. 28 sticky pistons, 4 pistons, 59 dust, a stack and 1 repeaters, so 65, 27 torches, 6 redstone blocks, 2 furnaces. They don't have to be furnaces. I just use furnaces because it's 1.5 components. They exist. This one needs 1 item. It could be a barrel or something. And this one needs 16 signal strength, so a furnace is actually really annoying because you have to smelt the stack of items. Or you could do a barrel, which works. 16 hoppers, 9 comparators, 2 powered rails. These can be activator rails as well. 41 quartz. I took that materials from 1 layer version and I replaced all the glass with quartz, so that doesn't include these wall blocks and stuff, and it includes extra bits for some reason. 6 input blocks, 6 double blocks, 2 transparent blocks for the double. Well, this one needs to be actually I don't think either of them need to be transparent. They're just in a slider, so glass. 28 input blocks, 48 quint, I don't know what you call it, circuit, 5 closing, 9 refire and input powering for the blue. 28 bottom triple blocks and 30 bottom blocks. These all should be solid apart from these 2, which can be whatever. 8 transparent blocks, 1 immovable block for every layer you have. So yeah, that can be a furnace if you want it cheap. If you're going for the 15 signal strength furnace, then you need a stack of smeltable things and then 2 more to fill the slots. And then you need 19 random items for the rest of it. Every layer you add on takes 15 pistons, 5 repeaters, 12 dust, 1 redstone block, 1 immovable, and 18 blocks. And also some quartz, which you didn't put in there for some reason. 6 quartz, because 6i. So, layout, I suppose. So the layout, we have 2 layers for inputting, and then we've got the piston stack right here. 4 pistons, and that's our floor. 6 blocks up, like that. And then 1 layer from the top, need a quint. And then 1 storage. Oh, and on the bottom, we also need storage. So that's the layout. Pretty simple. Bottom does what you expect. I mean, you saw it. Then here we need redstone block doubles. I don't know why I'm doing 2 layers, because that's not how it works. It's only 1 layer, sorry. And then input blocks, we have this. I don't know how that gets. Yeah, there's a dust there. To redirect it, and then here you have 2 L-shaped sort of things for the storage, and then you need your 1 immovable, and then 2 sets of repeaters. This is the sequence. And then it's something like this. Yeah, I mean, that's what happens in the door, but obviously it doesn't need to be that exact sequence. And then do nearly the same thing. Oh. On the opening. Oh wait. Double. Except when that's being retracted, you power these so that doesn't power. And then, yeah. So that's that. The top is, oh, I need to do the inputs first. The inputs for these. I'll just get that in. That updates and powers the thing. Then we need an updater there. This sort of system. Those are the inputs. They're a bit odd, but redsignial use them, and they turned out to be really, really good. So, yeah. I'm not going to show the top sequence. Well, I will once. I get a few more things in, I suppose. Oh, and we have this to update that. Now then, where do I start? Top, I think. Makes more sense. With the blue circuit. So, a few things get controlled by this, which I have to credit redsignial for. That's pretty smart. So that's your input to that line. Cuts this off, but it doesn't matter. And then we have 2-tick and a comparator to redirect the dust, so it works with 1 layer. And then that, which means we get this. So because it's a 2-tick, it goes through a torch, whereas if you do 1-tick, that happens. this here, that comes from there, this retraction comes from that, and then this goes through, and it's a burnout which gives out 1 pulse. It's just an easy 1-tick gen which does that. So that's good. And then I haven't memorized this door. Then we have this, not that. Don't worry about that. We replace the torch because it's burned out. Put an item in there. That goes around, powers that. So now we have even more of the retraction. And if we 4-tick the top, we get that. That gives out 2 pulses. Doesn't matter. A 3-tick does the same thing. Except 3-tick does different things once I've added the next circuit. So, which is this. So, we need a locked repeater. And then that's a 1-tick generator, and 2 ticks this and 1 ticks that. If I remember to put that in. This part also is kind of credited to redsignial. And then you will see we need these 2 rails to update the piston. And we get that sort of thing. Except we need it to retract this, which we stick a 2-tick there going into that line. And because it's budding, it's game tick perfect, which is quite nice. So yeah, and so that happens there. Oh, this needs to be a 2-tick because of the torch. And then if you see here, this dust is nicely there. Credit to redsignial again. It's really hard if you look at someone's build and it's a good build and then you make your own. You're going to end up copying them a bit. So if you want to make an original build, don't look at other people's stuff for too long. Otherwise this happens. This isn't fully copied, but, you know, that's a 3-tick. I think, yeah. So if we 4-tick this, we get that, which is pretty, I mean, it's very cool. It's nearly a whole triple. But if you see, if we 3-tick it, it does that instead. Because this retracts quicker, which makes this power instead of that power, which is what we do later. And then we 2-tick this to do the last retraction. So that's kind of the main belly of it, I guess. And I suppose the next step is the double, because 4-tick this, then we do the double 2-tick repeater here. This is on a slab. 3-tick there, which means we get a clock. But if we switch the clock off right when this is turned on for the second time, we can get a 1-tick like that, which retracts. It's hard to do. Anyway, we do that with a slider, so redstone block there with thing. Then I don't know why I always do redstone block doubles in pink, but I do. So this slider goes down. You can make this redstone block if you want. That's actually a good point. And then put a rail here to update or something. But I didn't. Before there was a cauldron, but I removed that because to make it 1.5. Components. So, what we do is we get a 1 tick. I forgot the timings. 1 tick and a 3 tick. Doesn't really matter which way round you do. I like doing the bigger delay first. And that goes into there like that. Does the updater. Very handy. And then 2 4-tick repeaters there. This used to wrap around before. Anyway, it doesn't now. And that's a redstone block double. It has that 1 tick, which is pretty cool. Yeah, so now all we have to do is hook this up, which we do. This circuit should be pink. Oh, I've spoiled it, but we've got a torch into a 4-tick, which means only when we input the 4-tick, this turns off, so the double doesn't power all the time. And that means do a 4-tick and remember, and then it does the double. So you meant to remember the piston. And then to do the, because when we've got the redstone block here, we need to push it down to this level to bud that. And we do that with a dropper hopper, which I think should be blue. Dropper hopper straight into there, which works well. So we get that. It powers again, but it doesn't matter. So now if we 4-tick that, it does the extension. And then if we 4-tick it again, it does a decent amount of the retraction. And to finish the retraction, we 3-tick it. And then we power this. And then we power it again, so that happens. And then we just 2-tick it. I think it's very smart sequence by redsignial and snowdrods. Very cool, very smart. Epic. So, well, basically this whole top blue circuit gets powered twice. Once from this mono and once from this mono. And what it does is it 4-ticks this, and then it 3-ticks it, and then it 2-ticks this with a few pulses here. So, we've got the 4-tick down. So then the next thing is to 3-tick it. And the way we do that is that powers that, but it doesn't matter. And that goes into a monostable, which 2-ticks that line, but I don't think that does anything. And this also doesn't power it because it's a 1-tick going into a torch. And then we have this. I think it's 3-tick and a 2-tick. It used to be a 1-tick, but that was a location for some reason. So now when the double gets pushed back up, it refires, but with a 3-tick. And that doesn't power the double again because this is a 4-tick. So if we 4-tick the main thing, it does the double, and then it does a 3-tick. And then all we need is 2-tick. Then we refire the whole thing. It does the 3-tick. Oh, and we need that pulse to that, and another one, and the 2 tick, which is quite nice. So that's how we do that. Not too bad, I don't think. But now we need a 2 tick, and if you realise that we can do a 4 tick, then if we do a 2 tick at the perfect time, where this is being extended with the redstone block, when this tries to retract it, we end up with this. And then the 3 tick gets sent through. And then the double, and then we do it all again. Basically, I'm saying we can do this 2 tick pulse after the 4 tick and after the 3 tick, so we don't need to filter out the 4 tick. So to do that, we have a 4 tick, which goes into a repeater lock with the slab, because there's a torch there. As much delay as possible. And then you can see this goes through and does a 2 tick. I think this is a 3 tick, sorry. So yeah. And that does nearly everything, which is pretty crazy. I'm gonna get rid of this so we can see what's happening. So a 4 tick, now we get a 2 tick to there, but it doesn't do anything. And then we need the 3 tick. Let's just pretend this is the second refire. We do the 3 tick, and then it does the 2 tick, which does all the retraction. And then what's left is to power this twice. Except that has to be on a toggle, because it can only happen with the 3 tick and not with the 4 tick. So to get to do the toggle, just have drop a loop item in there, and then a comparator, which is pretty cool. Very nice and compact. So when the 4 tick comes through, we get a 4 tick, it powers this dust, and it powers this dropper and that dropper. There's no item in this, so comparator doesn't go. There's an item in this, gets transferred to there, doesn't really matter. But the comparator doesn't power. So that's the 4 tick done. But what the 4 tick also does is the double, which powers, and this repeater powers that, and that, getting the item in there. And then when the 3 tick comes along, this powers like before, but there's an item in it, and it does that. But we need loads of delay going into there, so we stick a torch on. So when this switches off, this goes on, and the item ends up in there, ready for the next time we want to open the door. So now we stick a 4 tick in, does all the same stuff. That's all good, and the item ends up there, ready for the 3 tick, which, as you can see, does the extra pulse of that, which doesn't do anything now, but if we do the whole thing again, 4 tick, then we do the 3 tick, it does the retraction. Pretty cool. We're just missing the last retraction, which is super duper easy, because all we have to do is power this 4 ticks later. Actually no, that's not true. I forgot how we do that. Well, we have a 4 tick here, which, yeah, goes through and powers that again. Except it also powers this torch tower, which is why we need that 4 tick to keep this block powered. So if I pretend we've done all that, and then we refire again, we're at this stage. Now we do the 4 tick. I messed that up. sorry. We do the 4 tick. What is happening? That's there. That should be there. Okay, so we're here. Do the 4 tick, and it will work this time. Then we do the 3 tick, and you might be able to see this piston goes twice, or 3 times actually, or 4 or something. And that does the second pulse to that, which is really good. So yeah, and then if we hook up this 3 tick generator, all we have to do, stick a 4 tick in, and wait for the magic to happen. You see that 3 tick pulse doesn't do anything apart from reset this dropper thing. And then we do it again. And we get the nice retraction. Isn't that cool? So now we've done the top quint, and it's tiny, I think. So now we've done that, we should probably make the input first. I mean, now. So I don't really know. It's 3 blocks. Input can go there. So we have this here, just like that. And I'm going to build this out because we have 3 dust like that. And to power the storage on the closing, we have a torch. This is a red block going like that. And you need to realise that because we power that block specifically, this has a signal strength of 15. Which means that if I stick a comparator on subtract mode, and then I get this furnace, which has a signal strength of 15, power it here doesn't. We power this dust, doesn't subtract, but we power this dust, it does subtract. So we get that. So it means we can hold the storage on for longer without holding this on for longer. And that goes up into a torch like that. So we get that, and then we have this torch here, which powers this line, but it needs an update, so we just power it like that. So that is closed. Nice and simple. And then on the opening, we need to keep this line on for longer, so we make more torch towers. And we do that. And then to do the storage and the last retraction, it's kind of, I guess these should be light blue. It's mixed in with the quint power, so that's why we need cyan. So as you see, we have 4 tick, a 1 tick there, and we have a 4 tick there, which powers this storage, which powers the storage, and also this line. So we get this nice retraction, and you might think, oh, it can retract faster, but actually it has to be that timing because it ends up budded after the first refire. We'll need to update it, so we use this extending to update it. So that needs to extend before this is powered again, or something like that. I don't know if it works out though. So that happens. We also get torch going up there, which powers this 2 tick. Oh, that's why. That's what buds this. You see, it buds, so we need that to update it. So that 2 tick goes into this, and handily goes all the way up into the start. And because this is a 4 tick, it does everything. So now you'll see we have the top part from the refire done. And the storage and that pulse happens again on this refire, but it doesn't do anything. And then we get the whole top. And the way we power this is with a block and a comparator, with a torch, another torch, a torch, and then like that. So we get a torch monostable, so nothing happens. Oh, I've broken it because we're missing an item. Let's skip past everything breaking. Nice thing about this door is there's one toggle sort of thing over here, and it always fixes itself, so resetting is not that bad. So that goes through, powers that, and then when we unflick the lever, this switches off before this, which turns the torch on, and then this unpowers later, turns the torch back off. So we get a pulse, and then all we need to do is send another pulse through later, which is done by the bottom. Which is also why the bottom pauses for a while after the stack's been pushed down. Because it needs to, because it does the refire as well. So, now we've done the top. The next part will be the bottom. I know, crazy that. And, to power the bottom, we have a torch here. And then we have a hopper timer with 15 items in. And that goes into this dual monostable. Yeah, so the way these work is when you power the piston, dusk turns off and then it turns back on. As you can see. And that means we get a torch, 1 tick, which is very nice. And that goes immediately into a 4 tick repeater because, yeah, we need to power this twice for the first part. And then that goes into another dual edge thing. When this pushes, updates this to retract and then extends it like that. Gives us an output which we send straight up there. So if we power this, we get 2 pulses there. Crazy how easy that would be in obful, because you just do that 2 blocks to do the same thing. But anyway, and then so the sequence is we power this, and then we power this and this, and then we do it all again. This, and this. And then on the opening we power this, and this. Except here, yeah. Except then we power this, and this goes before these 2 power, so that does a double extension, and then we get another pulse later. So we've got this 2 pulses there, and then we need 2 pulses here 2 ticks later. So this retracting is 1 tick, so this powers after 1 tick. 1 tick after this turns off, So we've counted from that 1 tick, and now we need 2 ticks more. So we have this torch thing actually goes up here. And then the other tick just comes from there. So we get that. That's a lot of the storage done. Now we just need this. I'm going to use glass. So we come back through here. 4 tick and a 2 tick. Which goes into another one of these dual-edged monostables. Straight into there. And it all works. And the way we get the pulse to here is we have this input link. We have that, I'm pretty sure. Yeah. And we have a 2 tick dust. This is 1 block higher. I don't know why I moved it down, but I did. So now every time you power this, that goes later. Which is especially helpful when we're here. We just power that twice. Oh, power it twice. We can use this again, so that's why that's useful. And this connection on the closing looks a bit odd, but on the opening it does that, which is really cool. And then we need to 4 tick that, 1 tick that, 1 tick that, and retract that before that happens. So the way we do that is 3 tick and then 4 tick. So we have 3, 4, 4, 5, 6, and then we just have to 4 tick this. And it doesn't work because this needs to be a 3 tick. And it does that. So we need to power this after quite a lot of time. And I have completely forgotten how we do that. Oh, it's really boring. Just connect that up. And now we have that. Very nice. Now all we have to do is the triple, which is like lime green. So the first part of the triple I'm going to build is this. It's a pretty cool circuit, I think. If we 3 tick it to do the extension, it does that 1 tick because it goes through here. Except this 1 tick spits this back out before this is stopped powering, so that just doesn't go back on. So we get that. Very cool. And now we power this, and then we need to 2 tick this line, which resets that back to how it was before. That's quite a neat circuit, I think. Oh, and another thing is, if we block that from pushing, we can reuse this to power that, which is helpful. So what we have to do, 3 tick this, 4 tick that, 2 tick that, and use this double pulsar, and that does the whole thing. So the way we get the 3 tick pulse into here is with a handful of 3 tick repeaters, because we need lots of delay because of that double. And it does that. So we're going pretty well. That didn't reset, but that would 1 tick it back like that. Then whilst that's retracting, we power this. And then we 2-tick this to reset that. But while it's 2-ticking, we 4-tick this, which gives us the final retraction. We could probably 3-tick it actually. Oh, never mind. So, the way we power this is by getting this and sticking that into a toggle, which just goes straight back into there. Nice and simple. And that does the 4-tick. But it's clocking because this needs to be a slab. Otherwise this dust will power that. So that does that. Except this wasn't reset. Anyway, trust me, it works. And then we need to 2-tick this. Oh, look at this. It's a 2-tick repeater. Isn't that useful? And if you remember from the top of the door, repeater lock monostables exist. So what we can do is, I don't know the exact repeaters timings. 3-tick and a 2-tick. That gives us a 2-tick pulse, which is what we're looking for. Which is handy, isn't it? And we just power this. 1 tick, like that. Super simple. So now, close does its thing. That's all of close done. And then the opening, we get this. We get that 2-tick. Now all we need to do is 4-tick this on the opening, not the closing. So, if you're wondering why that's a dust and not a dust there. Yeah, I don't know why I didn't put dust there, but I didn't. Anyway, we have that closing, that powers. It doesn't do anything on the opening. It lets us, which does the retraction. So all we need to do now is 4-tick this after a while. And we've helpfully got this toggle, so we can get an output from there. And then bring that along. I don't know the timings. 4-tick, 4-tick, 3-tick, 2-tick. That's quite cool. Torch up into there, into that 4-tick. So if we power that, closing done. Then we retract this. You can watch this redstone block move about. Oh, I didn't reset it. Anyway, you see it powered again. It does the retraction, which is good. Yay. Ta-da. And if we flick the main lever, you can see, and wait a bit, there's 3 items that need to go through after the bottom stop messing around. I've completely forgot we have to do the refire. Luckily, that's really, really easy. Torch. Slab. Torch. This gets powered by the 4-tick, which goes through. I did a 5-tick pulse accident. Anyway, it works. So that's good. We get the refire. And look at that, the door has no blocks left in it, which means it worked. And if it works on your end, then you did the tutorial right. And if it doesn't, then I just have to hope you failed and it isn't locational. Anyway, Thanks for watching. Goodbye.